there.
Hi, welcome back to Curious Collection. I'm Will.
I'm Cinnamon.
So, over the weekend, I was kind of bombarded by social media, by YouTube algorithm with just terrible news. Terrible, like the world's coming to an end, the markets are falling apart, everything you know and love is going to die.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
Red Lobster is closing.
Yeah.
Some locations.
Because, we actually haven't been to a Red Lobster since my boomer mom passed away, which was many years ago.
It's been like a decade since we went to Red Lobster, but it's sad. It's so sad, and everything it's eBay's fault after all.
Because it's not the economy. It's, I just had someone tell me that the economy is fine. That's not the problem. It's
So, obviously, Red Lobster. eBay had some problems over the weekend, apparently. People are complaining about their server being down. They didn't get sales. They're having problems listing. We deal with this every day, right? Like, not us, but as sellers, we're dealing with technical glitches every day.
We do deal with it every day.
Right.
I don't recall the last time
eBay,
that I've sat in front of the computer for 4 or 6 hours listing and not had the... oops, we've looked everywhere. It's not you, it's me.
Right.
Oh.
And then, so, there's technical problems. There's challenges getting sales.
Mm-hmm.
There's, reports coming out from the Fed that consumers have overspent their credit lines, and some of them are having trouble making their payments.
Yeah.
They're defaulting on mortgages higher than they were a year ago. They're defaulting on their credit cards and their auto loans.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this coming, right? This is something that we've been talking about on our channel now for a long time.
Yeah.
And we also know as sellers that we're going into the summer slowdown, the summer slump. And we've also talked about that. We talked about it in January, February, March, that,
it's coming.
It's coming. We need to prepare ourselves. And one other thing that kind of rung true for me over the weekend was somebody had kind of a throwaway statement about reselling, and they said that if your bank account is not going up every month, you're doing it wrong. And I would like to add to that statement, and that if your net worth isn't going up, you're doing it wrong. And not just reselling, but life, adulting. We need to grab this bull by the horns as resellers and as adults, and train it and guide it in the path that we want it to take us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want this video to be a downer and just beat you with bad news.
No, because so often that is what you're bombarded with.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do when that's what's out there, when you feel like it's completely hopeless because it is coming at you from all directions? The economy is down. It is hard to list and to do that consistently. It is hard to find quality merchandise that you can then flip for a good margin. There are difficulties. There are struggles. The summer slump is real, so...
For most sellers, you're going to see a drop in sales unless you've diversified against that so that you're selling maybe outdoor grills or patio furniture or, stuff along those lines, vacation, camping, sporting goods. These obviously there's some things that you can do, but for a lot of us that focus in, non-essentials, a lot of the stuff that you sell is a gift item or people buy it for themselves for parties, right? So we talk about that all the time.
Yes.
Jewelry sales are down, but, people aren't having parties in late May.
No.
It's just not a thing people do. And if they do go to a barbecue, they're not getting dressed up.
Right. No, you don't wear your best jewels. You're not dripping in diamonds to go to a backyard barbecue.
Right.
I mean, I might be, but...
Right. Well, you're a little extra, so that's acceptable.
Yeah.
So again, one of the things that's kind of stuck in me is the whole Red Lobster ordeal, right? And I know I'm going to just use this as an example because it's so current. A lot of the reason that companies go out of business is that it's not that they're not selling product. It's not that they're not a viable business. It's that they've over leveraged themselves. They've borrowed more money than they can make in a year and afford to pay back. And so we've seen this historically
Toys
with
R Us,
a lot of companies. Yes, Toys R Us.
Sears, all of those.
Right, Kmart. There, Kmart took out a $300 million loan to buy Sears. What? It's a failing company. What are you doing? So you just literally took out a mortgage on your house to pay for your car that's over the windows in floodwaters.
Right. But the thing is, okay, so maybe you took out a second mortgage on your house to pay for your business, your reselling business, but the numbers just aren't there. So what do you do?
Right. So again, we've been a big advocate for living a debt-free lifestyle. And I understand if you're not living that debt-free lifestyle, now's the time to focus in on what you are doing with your money.
Yeah.
We need to get back to dollars and cents. And so we, as a household, we use a budgeting app for our household spending. And we're not advocating for any specific app. There's a lot of them out there.
Whatever works for you and your household.
And again, I've said it before, just get some graph paper and you can just write it down. And
we've done that before too. When we were trying to get out of debt, I literally drew a picture of one of those thermometers and colored in as we were getting closer to each little goal. I had, and then I had multiple pages that had the ball jars, right? And again, you color it in so that you can hit those goals. Sometimes you need visual goals, in order to hit it. And whatever it takes, there are so many tools available to you. I've talked about my to-do lists. On my to-do list every single day is check the budget. That's on my list. So every day I check the budget and I'm like, okay, well, how much do we have left in each category? Okay, we're good. We've got another $200 for the month for groceries. So yeah, let's run up to the grocery store. Let's get some fresh produce. That's great. But as far as meat goes, maybe not this month. Maybe we'll wait till next month. So those are the thoughts you have to have on a daily basis though.
Right. And that really is the reality of the world that we live in. And it's even more important today than it was 4 or 5 years ago, right? We all know that the cost of everything in the world have gone up. But, we've been living this lifestyle for the better part of a decade.
Yeah.
So for us, it's almost second nature. Yes, I go to the grocery store and I see a $10 jar of mayonnaise and my jaw hits the floor because it's insane that, I can't spend $10 on mayonnaise.
Right.
But that we do have a budget so that we can give ourselves permission. The other day we had to go and buy tennis shoes.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, that's a financial emergency.
It used to be for us.
You're pulling your credit card out to pay for tennis shoes because your teenage child has worn out their shoes. Well, come on. They're a teenager.
Right.
We knew at the beginning of the school year, there's no way these are going to make it through the year. So, we have
a clothing budget.
Yeah, we have a clothing budget for that. So the other part that I want to pull into this is that I really believe as a reseller that you are uniquely qualified to deal with this. Resellers, in my experience, tend to be hardworking. So we're all out here busting our butts. We know that if we could just get a couple more listings up a week, that we might get a little bit more sales. We have the power of negotiation. Right. Most resellers I know aren't just picking at thrift stores. They're going out to yard sales. They're going to flea markets. They're talking to estate sales. They have the power of negotiation. So the bigger the
pile, the bigger the deal.
Right. And so, you know what? If you are buried in debt, we're not debt consultants, but please take it seriously. This is an opportunity that, most of us don't get many opportunities like this in our lifetime. Negotiate that debt, talk to the debt company, whether it's a credit card, whether it's a loan, see if you can renegotiate those terms, see if they'll give you a break on your payments.
Sometimes they do. If you're guaranteeing that you're going to pay.
So I'm going to bring it up. We had In the 2008 financial crisis, if you remember, all of the banks just basically closed the front door, not literally, but they basically closed the door on loans. Mm-hmm. And they said, no more loans, no more credit cards. They were cash strapped. They were terrified because they're losing all of these mortgages. Everything was going south and they had too much risk. And so they said, in order to contain the damage, we are not going to take on any more loans until we can ensure that they're going to be good loans. We had a credit card company reach out to us and they offered to settle the debt. Mm-hmm. It was insane. It was almost 50% off on the balance we had on a card that was in good standing.
Right. They wanted to basically say that it was a $10,000 limit. They're like, we want it to be a $2,000 limit now.
Right. So the first thing that they did, card in good standing. That means that we made our payments on time or early every month. It was never late, never a day late.
Right.
Yes. The first thing that they did is they restricted our limits. Mm-hmm. So pulled it from $10,000 to $2,000. We had $1,800 or so on the card, and they they gave us a call and they said, if you pay this off within 3 months, so pay the full balance within 3 months, we will cut the price down. It was like $1,000. So again, we weren't even resellers at the time.
No.
But when we hear a good deal, we know it. So we said, well, shoot, you're going to give us $900 free money if we just pay this off? They didn't want the risk.
Yeah. They had
to balance their books because they were in trouble. So, use this as an opportunity. Hey, you know what? Can I get a deal? Mm-hmm. If I have something that I've defaulted on, can I get this off my record? Can we make a deal? Can we negotiate a price? Let's take care of that stuff as a community because, we do need a strong reseller community. We can't have just, Asian import companies selling everything on the platform.
No, because that screws up everybody else too. We've talked about it before. I get so upset because, the Chinese import garbage claims that it's, 925, but it's not. It's magnetic, right. And now I can't sell my real silver because people are like, oh, well, I can get it here for half the cost. No, it's not real. Okay, that's my tangent. Let me go off. So you keep going.
Well, and it's so true because, again, if you're a coin collector or a bullion collector, I was looking at a local auction. They've got some monster boxes of silver eagles. So if you're unfamiliar with a monster box, it's 500 silver rounds packed and sealed in a case. The retail value on that should be somewhere
like 28,000 or something.
Somewhere around 18,000, depending on the value of the silver eagle year and the amount of silver price at that time. So you're talking 500 ounces of silver. Close to that. I think it's 90% silver. So 450 ounces of silver. I go on eBay to do some price comps, and I see people selling silver eagles for $25.
Free ship from
Free
China.
shipping from China. I've got a good feeling that that's not actually silver because you're selling it below the cost of silver.
Right.
And you're giving me free shipping from China, which I understand doesn't cost a whole lot, but it costs something. Mm-hmm. So, what are you getting? Are you getting a piece of tin? Are you getting some type of, aluminum? Is it
not
a
what
replica?
They're saying it is.
I don't know what you're getting. I am certain that there's no way that that's U.S. denomination in silver that you're going to get on your doorstep. Mm-hmm. So again, we need a strong reseller market.
What we can do as resellers to stack the deck in our favor. So we talked about the fact that you have to know your numbers, you have to budget, and you really have to be very, very aware of every penny that you're spending, both in your business and in your household. You need to leverage so that you have some money in your back pocket when one of those great deals comes along that you can, because of course, like, you're making your money on the buy. So when that deal comes and falls into your lap, you're poised and ready for it. And conversely, in your household, if you're freaked out because your household budget isn't where it needs to be, then you might be making some poor decisions in your business because you're desperate. And desperation doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the first things that you do is, you have a catastrophic issue. So, you've got a broken window, you've got a blown tire, maybe the engine or transmission on your vehicle goes out. These type of things happen, right? Like, or
you got to buy your kid a new pair of shoes or a haircut. Like, when you're broke, every single thing is an emergency.
Yeah. So, we got to have some buffer. We got to have some emergency savings. We cannot, as a community, continue to live on credit card debt. We can't live on those loans. You can't be going and taking out a second mortgage on your house when interest rates are as high as they are, and you're going to pay back that loan at 7%.
Yeah.
Our first home, the home mortgage, we had 2 mortgages on this house, one at 7, one at 9.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. And
then we had cars,
right?
And our car payments were $1,000
and that's what
a
we're
month.
saying.
We've done it all wrong.
We did everything wrong, and if there's anything we can do to try to share that pain and that agony that we went through to try to get people to where we are, it's so much freedom.
It really
is.
To
not have to live in that debt. But the first step you got to do is admit that there is a problem with debt and try to move yourself in the right direction.
Yeah.
We
and it is a lifestyle change.
Yeah, we can't blame eBay if we don't make our credit card payment because that credit card's our credit card. eBay didn't charge anything on there. You did that as a seller.
Right.
So there's a couple of things. We talk to business owners when we're outsourcing, maybe family members, just people in passing. So we know a lot of business owners. We know people that own small grocery stores and flea markets and laundromats, right? And so it's a revolving theme in the small business world that people are always capital short, right? We're always trying to find that next sale so we can make our rent. We're trying to pay the landlord. We're trying to make the utility bill.
Right. The booth rent, whatever it is.
Right. And so, one person that we talked to, they called us out of nowhere one day and they said, hey, if you're willing to, come pick up this item, we'll give it to you at 30% off because I need it today. I need this sale today.
I need to pay my bills and I need the space.
Mm-hmm. And, we had another person historically that we had some stuff that we were looking to sell. And we had talked about it and we went, you know what? I know the person that this would be great for. It'd be perfect for their store. We had spoons, spatulas, whisks, all sorts of houseware items. And I thought it would be great in a grocery store environment. This person happens to own a grocery store. And so we had probably close to 10,000 pieces.
Yeah, no, it was a lot. It was weird. Not our normal.
Yes.
I'm like, what did you do?
When you see a good deal.
It worked.
But what we found, we went and talked to the person and they were very excited about it. And they said, I'd love to do this, but I've got rent and I've got to pay my rent. But if I write you a check,
can you wait?
Can you
cash?
Just hold on to it for a week and I'll make sure that the funds are there. And so we made a deal. But do you want to live that way as a seller? Do you want to have that truckload of merchandise show up in front of your house and you can't take it at 10 cents on the dollar because you haven't saved any money?
Managed your finances, to your best ability.
Right.
It's hard.
We know another person who recently has defaulted on their business. They had a deal with the owner of the business that they were going to lease the business and the land, and it was supposed to be a lease to own situation.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran the business for about 9 months
and decided
that they can't make money and that they've defaulted. Why? Because they're not allocating capital properly. I know the owner of the property, and they've run the business for a decade. They tell me
it's not that it can't be run,
that they have been cash flowing $50,000 a year out of the business as income. And now the person that's taken over and has the lease can't make their rent because they're putting all the money in their pocket.
Right. They're not reinvesting into the business. They're not fixing the fixtures. They're not putting anything back into the business.
Right.
Well, you can't grow a business that way either.
Right. So we have to manage our business. We have to reinvest in our business. We can't just.
But we also have to manage our home finances, because if we're taking too much from the business.
I really think that that's what's perpetuating it, is you're not managing your household finances. So you're more tempted to overdraw the business.
Right.
So, we told you guys, we keep 2 separate accounts. We keep a business account and we keep a household account, and we pay ourselves a flat rate every month, because it's really hard to live on the fluctuations in a small business.
Yeah.
We can't have a $5,000 deposit one month and a $2,000 deposit into our household the next. It doesn't work like that for us.
Yeah.
So we spread it out. And, maybe you try to spread it out.
And then at the end of the year, you do
even.
whatever to come even.
Right.
But, looking at the numbers, this is what it looks like for the most part. So, we're able to give ourselves kind of that, that same chunk of money every month, know.
So the problem is, if your household's short, we talked about the fact that we pay ourselves $4,000 a month. That's
hard to live on.
Right. It is very hard. Very hard. We don't have car payments. We don't have a mortgage. But that also includes the money that we have to send for our IRS deductions.
Right. So it's really like $3,000 at the end of the month, because $1,000 of that is going towards our taxes, our quarterlies every month. So yeah, we obviously we have to work hard on budgeting for $3,000 a month for a household of 3.
Right. So where I'm going with this, though, is if you're not balancing that budget for the household, you're going to be tempted to pull that extra money out of the business. Right.
Instead of putting it aside for that next order that you're going to make.
Right. So a lot of people are getting hung up on old inventory, stale inventory. All their capital is trapped. And that's very scary. When everything you have is old stock stuff. We talked about the fact that
you lose your motivation.
I used to sell Pyrex, Corningware, Revereware, a lot of different household kitchen.
The market's changed.
The market did change. And if all of our money was stuck in that old stuff, how do you move forward?
Right.
You move forward because you've budgeted and you have the capital so that you can take advantage of the new category, the category that's picked up today.
Right.
I couldn't believe it over the weekend. We had a great week last week over, a couple $100 in our ad store because I bought 1 box of magazines and refreshed the inventory. Well, it totally brought it back to life. It was like water in the spring. Like everything started to bloom. Couldn't believe it. If you don't have the money to reinvest, your business is not going to bloom. It's going to wither and die just like all the rest of them. Yeah. So, again, I think that resellers are motivated. They are smart. They are certainly capable of the challenges ahead, but we've got to plan for it. We've got to be aware of it. Blaming eBay, eBay has its challenges.
Do any good.
Right.
I mean, yes, you
just
can
take a
sit
look
there
at ourselves
and just wallow in all of the negative, and you could do that. what's that going to do for you though? Like, is that going to help you to better your business for tomorrow? Is that going to help you to get through the day? Like, genuinely, like, I understand, and it sucks, and we have our moments where we're like, darn it, eBay, like, we have good stuff here. Just show our stuff so that we can sell it. But the thing is, like, just wallowing in it isn't helping. Right. So, yes, you can vent. I get that. Everybody needs to be able to feel validated of venting and things like that. But at the end of the day, you still need a plan. So what are you going to do? You can't change the algorithm. I am not a computer programmer. And even if I were, it wouldn't matter because I'm not changing the algorithm. What I can do is I can budget and I can list and I can, like, these are the things I can do. I can grow my knowledge of my inventory so that I can describe it better and I can take better pictures and I can, utilize the tools that are available to me in like the AI description. Like those are things I can do. Mm-hmm. And that does make you feel like you have a little more control over the situation.
Right. And if you do get into that situation where you can pull yourself out of debt, where you can put a little bit of money into a nest egg and have it sitting on the side,
when you have those bad days, you're like,
it will transform your mind space. It will transform your business. I really believe that.
I agree wholeheartedly. And it does. It gives you the freedom to be able to do something like this. We wouldn't be able to do this if we continue to have debt. I'd still be at the hospital because we'd have a mortgage to pay off.
Right. We certainly don't make enough doing this that we could have to pay that giant mortgage.
No.
So I appreciate you guys stopping in. I hope you can find some motivation in this and, share your thoughts below. Obviously, we love to hear from you guys. You guys, like I said, you guys are very smart and a lot of you have a lot of experience in this category, in this realm. So definitely share that with us and like and subscribe.
Thanks so much, guys. Good luck to you out there.